Sorry folks, I'm trying to sort out my playlists on my YouTube. Sorry for the hold up. Oh God. What did I do? I thought I had another lemon. Here. I've got one more left on the floor. Put that in the fridge. Don't want it in the floor in the fridge. So I will hold me what folks I sort out my playlist from YouTube. There's so much stuff on my YouTube I have to sort out. Told you to put something on YouTube and you forgot. You forgot to do something and you got to put a playlist on YouTube. Totally forgot. They asked me to put a crying therapy on my YouTube until we got all about my crying therapy. My With One Accord playlist, and With One Accord, you know, she's the horse that was owned by the Queen. It was her birthday on the 15th, so she was sad. So I sorted out her playlist. I can just get her playlist put up now. And the 17th, which is Paddy's Day, to get that up, put up. Well, it was only putting up the crying therapy now later on, so I asked him to do it. Already, we already asked him to put the crying therapy up before he got, so he's already putting up With One Accord's birthday now. But to be fair, they were up in the order of time as well. It doesn't matter now, but I have to do this. But I did 4 for With One Accord, and I've only 2 for crying therapy because it's only a half an hour session. So you only finish the one session. It's only half an hour session. It's just I would have had more videos if it was a longer session. But only half an hour, so I only feature 2 videos. But I'll go with Groom Bruce. He's kind of a sport horse, but he's more like a thoroughbred. But I'm very fond of Bruce, so I get some photographs taken after the session as well. I'm only looking for half an hour. And half an hour seems to go very quickly. It seems to go too quickly for my liking. So it does actually too quickly for my liking. I go twice a week. I go on Monday and Friday. So I go and see him again this Friday. And we formed a very close bond, me and Bruce. We have a very strong bond. So there's rice in this place. It's happening. Or would they be broadcasting from home?
This is FM 104. It is now lunchtime, 1 o'clock.
And Newslink.
Method defers key meeting on easing of restrictions. And Coleman hits back ahead of World Cup qualifier.
On your radio, online, on the FM 104 app, and your smart speaker. FM 104.
I'm Hazel Nolan. Good afternoon. NPHET has postponed a crucial meeting on what steps are to be taken around COVID-19 restrictions. The key gathering was to decide on whether public health measures can be eased next month. Kevin O'Mahony has the latest.
The delay is due to health officials wanting more time to consider the current figures before advising whether a limited easing of restrictions can go ahead. The National Public Health Emergency Team will advise the government on Monday ahead of a cabinet decision next Tuesday. Taoiseach Micheál Martin says they haven't decided yet what the next few months will look like.
No decision has been made in relation to the post-April the 5th situation. No decision has been made. We'll be engaging with public health advice and other research in relation to this. We do acknowledge, of course, the enormous stress and strain and difficulties the current lockdown is imposing on people.
Meanwhile, new COVID walk-in test centres are being set up here in Dublin. They'll be based at Tala and Irishtown stadiums, as well as Grange Gorman Primary Care Centre and Blanchardstown Shopping Centre. Liz Canavan from the Department of Taoiseach says the locations are where cases have been highest.
Increasing the number of people we test will help us better understand how and why the virus is spreading quicker in certain areas. Around 1 in 5 people have COVID-19 without having any symptoms. Testing people with those symptoms will help us find positive cases earlier and allow these people to take the necessary action to protect others. And this will help us break chains of transmission.
Just over 62,000 COVID vaccines were administered in the Republic last week.
FM 104 live.
Peak Before Profit says many renters won't be protected by a blanket ban on evictions under a new housing bill. It comes before the Dáil later today. Louise Cruz has more.
The proposed residential tenancies bill aims to extend protection for renters who've lost income due to the pandemic. A blanket ban was introduced to stop evictions in most cases last year, but that expires in the coming weeks. People Before Profit say this new housing bill doesn't do enough to protect other tenants faced with other issues. The party's Richard Boyd Barrett says they want the new law to include extending the evictions ban for another year for everyone.
The protections that we are asking for in our amendments for the period of COVID are in fact standard, even in non-COVID times, in most of Europe. Basic protections for people who pay their rent, who've done nothing wrong. They should have security of tenure and not face the possibility of homelessness simply because somebody wants to sell a property or refurbish their property. There is no reason why any of those things can't be done with the tenants in situ.
Meanwhile, the Lord Mayor, a member of the City Council's Housing SPC, doesn't believe that the bill covers enough.
We need better regulation in the rental market. We need to make sure that people get the services they need legally to protect their tenancies as well. So there's a whole myriad of things that need to be done apart from this bill coming up.
The proposed new bill goes before the Dáil today and will look to extend protections by another 3 months.
Reality TV star Hughie Mawns described how he was attacked while out walking in North Dublin on Monday. Bottles and sticks were thrown at him by a group of teenagers and he was verbally abused. Hughie has reported the incident to Gardaí and says while he can deal with the situation, he is worried for others.
I'm quite confident adults, so I don't get intimidated so easily like that, but it just made me very sad and I'm worried for like if there was a teenager out there, if I'd been young, how would I have felt in that situation?
FM 104.
A senator from West Dublin says the zoo could operate safely if it was allowed to reopen. Emer Curry says many parks are under severe pressure with more people heading to them as the weather improves. She says reopening the zoo with strict controls in place would help to ease that pressure. But the senator admits that she would have concerns that it might encourage people to break their 5k limit.
That's probably the biggest issue around it, and I do think that people have to operate within their travel restrictions. We can ask the public to do that, but also I wonder if the zoo could consider some sort of, as part of the pre-booking system, to ask that question or get people to confirm where they're coming from. That's something that I think the zoo would have to consider as part of their pre-booking.
And finally, Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight says they effectively missed out on shooting a series because of coronavirus. It's been announced that the upcoming season of the drama will be its last, but Stephen says there were always plans to tell more of the Shelby family's story, so it will continue in another form.
The world is so vibrant, the world is so popular, let's be honest, that we don't want to close it down, so we want to continue the world on with the characters who are in it at the moment and with characters who may come after they moved on.
FM 104.
Still running 1 month marathons. Still biting every penny. Still beating Ballard and racing done. Still shaving beards, dyeing heads and waxing legs. Still counting steps and taking dips. Still challenging family and friends. Still giving everything we can. Cancer's still here, but so are we. Every step of the way. Donate to the Irish Cancer Society or get involved this Daffodil Day at cancer.ie in partnership with Boots.
FM 104 Sport with GadgetInsurance.com. Don't let a new smashed phone or tablet smash your wallet. Protect your new gadgets at GadgetInsurance.com.
Ireland captain Seamus Coleman has hit back at reports that he was forced to attend a press conference against his will. It was claimed earlier this year that the defender was asked to front up to the media, even though he knew he wouldn't be starting in Stephen Kenny's first match in charge last year. Coleman's now set the record straight ahead of tonight's World Cup qualifier against Serbia in Belgrade.
No ego with me whatsoever. I read something about me being disappointed at being asked or getting told to go to a press conference. The manager left me out of his first game. Had the decency to call me to his room and explain the situation, which I was fine with because Matt was playing very well at the time. There's absolutely no ego involved in me and there never has been. My duty as captain, my duty for the rest of the players is to be positive around the place, whether I play or I don't play. And I went to that press conference with absolutely no issues whatsoever.
That match tonight kicks off at 7:45. Elsewhere in Group A this evening, Portugal take on Azerbaijan at the same time. The FAI have confirmed 2 friendly games for the Ireland women's team next month ahead of the World Cup qualifying campaign later in the year. Firepa's side will take on Denmark at home on the 8th of April before an away trip to Belgium 3 days later. In golf, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry both start their WGC Dell Match Play Championship campaigns today in Texas. Ian Poulter first up for McIlroy. McIlroy currently 1 up there, while Lowry's first game in Group 3 is against Ryan Palmer later. It's the first of a possible 7 matches they would have to play in order to win the tournament. And finally, 3-time world champion Mark Selby takes on Karen Wilson for a place in the semi-finals of the Tour Championship this afternoon. That first session just underway in a best of 19 frames encounter. And that's your sport with GadgetInsurance.com. Don't wait till your new phone gets smashed or robbed. Do the smart thing now by insuring it at GadgetInsurance.com.
FM 104's weather with localheroes.ie. Still here for essential call-outs like boiler replacements in just a few clicks.
Cloudy this afternoon with the rain setting in later. Highs of 11 degrees, and at the moment it is 11.
Now 5 hits in a row.
FM 104's All Request Lunch
With Emma Nolan.
Music station. FM 104.
Boy, baby, do a leap and make them dance when it come on. Everybody looking for a dance to the run on.
If you wanna run away with me, I know we galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shine just the way you like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. No sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
I'm one of the greatest, ain't no debating on it. I'm still levitated, I'm heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave him love and they end up hating on me. She told me she loved me and she been waiting. Been fighting hard for your love and I'm running thin on my patience. Need someone to hug you, but took it back to the basics. You see what you got me out here doing? Might have thrown me off, but can't nobody stop the movement. Let's go, left foot, right foot, levitating. Pop star, do a leap over the baby. I had to lace my shoes for all the blessings I was chasing. If I ever slip, I fall